Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from Denver, Colorado and Coors Field, the road trip for the Cardinals continues. It's game number 1 of a weekend series. The St. Louis Cardinals and the upstart Colorado Rockies. Jim Hayes is here. That's Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. Should be a fun pitching matchup here tonight. We're going to start with the Cardinals right-hander Carlos Martinez, coming off one of his best starts of the year over the weekend, and that was against the Giants.
Yeah, you said it, Danny. One of his best starts of his career, coming off a slow start in April and turning it up a notch in May, and just getting better and better right now.
So Carlos Martinez going for the St. Louis Cardinals. Antonio Senzatella, he is a rookie. Rookie's a big part of this rotation. He's been very good. He's won 6 games overall, and here at Coors Field, a record of 4-1. So Senzatella and Carlos Martinez on the mound tonight. One of the game's best leadoff men is in the lineup. That's Charlie Blackmon. Baseball coming up. Colorado Rockies, his club is playing great baseball, 31-18. Three reasons why. We're going to start at the top of the lineup. Charlie Blackmon leads Major League Baseball in RBI with 42, and he's doing it from the leadoff spot. A lot of young starters in this rotation. We'll see another one here tonight. But over 50% of the wins have come from rookie starters for the Colorado Rockies. So young starters on the mound, good defense behind them, 4 Gold Glove winners on their roster. It's been exceptional defense this season for the Colorado Rockies. It's the Rockies and Cardinals, a weekend series from Coors Field. And baseball, our first pitch, starting lineups, comes your way next. Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Coors Field in Denver, it opened up back in 1995. And one thing you notice when you come to this ballpark, the baseball jumps, usually a lot of offense, and we'll see if that plays out this weekend. Along with Jim Edmonds, the Cardinals Hall of Famer, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And Jim Hayes is here as well. The Rockies take the field, and Colorado comes in with a record of 31-18. They just finished up a 10-game road trip. And Dexter Fowler, the former Rocky, will lead it off for the St. Louis Cardinals, followed by Greg Garcia and Matt Carpenter. Jed Jerko, Yadier Molina riding a 14-game hitting streak. Tommy Pham, Randall Grichuk, Colton Wong, and the pitcher batting ninth, that's Carlos Martinez. Antonio Cinzatella, he's a 22-year-old big guy, 6'1", 230 pounds from Venezuela. He's got a very good fastball. He's trying to improve that slider, and so far so good. He's pitched very, very well. So that's a look at your Hyundai pitch arsenal. And there's a look at Bud Black, first year with the Colorado Rockies. 9 years as the Padres manager, pitched 15 years in the big leagues. And the Rockies have to be thrilled with the way that they've started this far.
So far, he's done a great job. It's funny that all those managers have come through here, all with personalities, all with great backgrounds, and then you bring a pitcher here, and all of a sudden their pitching staff's improved. So hopefully for the Rockies, good things to come.
Rockies defensively, as we mentioned in our previous segment before the commercial break, as you get a look at their defense around the horn, is presented by Dobbs. It's a good defensive club. Desmond in left, Blackman can go get it in center, Cargo a cannon for an arm in right. Nolan Arenado has been in the league for 4 years. He has 4 Gold Gloves. He's at third base. Trevor Story at short. DJ LeMahieu is at second base. Mark Reynolds, the former Cardinal, at first base, and Tony Walters is behind the plate. So here is Dexter Fowler, drafted by Colorado in the 14th round of 2004, and is the all-time leader in starts in Rockies history in center field. And now wearing the birds on the bat. He's in a tough stretch right now. He's won for his last 24, 7 strikeouts in that time, and batting just .205. And the first pitch is taken for a strike, and we're underway. Outfield is straight away for Fowler. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Lance Barksdale is the home plate umpire. John Tumpane at first. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, down at second. Angel Hernandez at third. Fowler, soft liner into center field and a base hit.
It's a nice start right there by Dexter Fowler. One of the things I always thought was tough about this ballpark, first of all, you see the way the sun's setting gives you give a little bit of an oddball first inning, especially at first base, but being a hitter early in the game is tough to see. And for some reason, I always thought the ball got on you in a hurry here. So it's nice Dexter Fowler has been here before. Some of these guys, not as much, but it'd be kind of an interesting scenario to see how these guys adjust as the game goes on.
Here is Greg Garcia. Ledmus Diaz is on the bench tonight. Cardinals a little short-handed as Stephen Piscotty had a personal issue that takes him away from the club. And it's Peralta, Diaz, and Fryer on the bench. 0-1 pitch to Greg. I would think with these 6:40 local start times that for the first baseman, if Senzatella wants to throw over, it's very tough for Mark Reynolds to pick up the baseball.
It definitely is going to be tough, and it's at different times of the year too. And even at 7 o'clock, I could always remember playing here, and the first baseman always shading his eyes. It was almost as if they had to bounce the ball over there. And certain times of the year, like I said, even the ground ball to third base, you had to keep the ball low, bounce the ball on the ground. I've seen before to the first baseman, because definitely the first baseman has so much trouble just seeing anything coming from that angle.
And a double play ball hit to Story. He flips to LeMahieu. Turns the double play, 6-4-3. So Fowler erased after his single. Trevor Story just came off the DL, flipping to LeMahieu. He won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago. Taylor Made playing up the middle, 6-4-3 on the double play. And it brings in Matt Carpenter. Average at .229, 9 home runs and 27 driven in. 33 walks, third best in the National League. His on-base percentage, because of those walks, at .374, and takes a pitch inside. Tonight for the Rockies, their 27th start by a rookie. And those rookies are 16-5 in their rotation. Always known as a great offensive club, but always searching for pitching. Do you find sinker ballers? Do you find hard throwers? Can you live with a curveball pitcher? All those things have been talked about over the years.
It's funny you say that, because over the years you've seen each year they've tried something different. They went out and got a few guys that could throw sinker balls, get some ground balls. A couple guys stay away from the breaking ball. They went after velocity. I think you have to go out there and find some kids with some guts, and they can just move the ball around, keep the ball down, and really just try to go out there and pitch and survive here in Colorado.
Bud Black has talked about this year that he wants his staff to pitch up in the zone with fastballs, which could be asking for trouble. High fastballs sometimes wind up in the seats, but that has been his mantra to his young staff. 3-2 pitch, fouled away by Carpenter. See Bud Black, he was not happy about 2 pitches ago on Carpenter. A little frustrated early on with the strike zone. 3-2 pitch, fouled back again. Senzatella originally signed as a non-drafted international free agent in July of 2011. Let's get a look at the umpires. He was 16 years old and made his pro debut the following year in 2012. 3-2 pitch again, and Carpenter lines it out to right, but there's Cargo, and he makes the catch. So the Cardinals get a leadoff hit by Fowler, erased on the double play, and we head to the bottom of the first. Here in the month of May, the 25-year-old right-hander making his team-leading 10th start of the season tonight. His Hyundai pitch arsenal: fastball, slider, change, and curve. This will be his 3rd start at Coors Field. He's won both previous starts here, including last season, went 5 innings in a 5-3 win. Charlie Blackmon will lead it off for the Rockies, followed by DJ LeMahieu and Nolan Arenado. Then Carlos Gonzalez, Mark Reynolds, Ian Desmond, signed to a big deal in the offseason, Trevor Story, Tony Wolters, and Antonio Senzatella. 1, 2, and 3 in this lineup. How have they fared against Carlos Martinez? DJ LeMahieu, the reigning batting champion in the National League, 6 for 10 with or 6 for 9 rather, with a double against Carlos Martinez. Charlie Blackmon has been red hot since the opening bell. The last 12 games, hitting .415 with 9 multi-hit games. He has 22 of those on the year, most in the National League, has the most hits, and against the Cardinals an average of .350 in his career as he lines that foul. And one of the nastiest looking beards in baseball.
And he's got the beard and the hair. He's got them
combo.
both working. Playoffs, playoff beard, playoff hair.
And there's a base hit into right field. The Cardinals defensively with Tommy Pham in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, and Randall Grichuk in right. Jerko, Garcia, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Yadi has caught 8 of 25 base stealers this year.
Danny, that defense part right there is where games can be won and lost when you're on the road coming into this ballpark. If you get caught up in playing too deep in the outfield, you end up giving up maybe 7, 10, even 14 hits. If you throw a couple of walks in there and a double here and a home run, that's how the scores get out of control in this ballpark in a hurry.
Matt Carpenter using the sunglasses just in case Martinez would throw over.
Fans need more than just glasses in the background. You see everyone shading their eyes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the sun will actually get worse over there for Matt Carpenter than it gets before it gets better.
1 ball, 1 strike on DJ LeMahieu. Hit .348 last year to lead the National League. What has turned out to be a tremendous deal for the Colorado Rockies. They traded for LeMahieu back in 2011. Ian Stewart was a part of that deal. And LeMahieu, since he came over to Colorado, has won a batting championship and also a Gold Glove. The 1-1 pitch. Double play ball. It's hit to second. Flip to the shortstop Garcia. 4-6-3. And the Cardinals return the favor here in the bottom of the first. State Farm double play. Colton Wong, Greg Garcia, Matt Carpenter. Taylor-made.
See why he gets so many ground balls. That fastball just middle in, running a little bit, but running enough to get in on the hands and not be able to put a good swing on the ball and drive it into the gap. Ends up just becoming a ground ball to second base.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Double play always important, but especially with Nolan Arenado in the first inning. Arenado, a .474 hitter in the first inning, second best in the National League. And he's done some damage with 13 RBIs and 4 home runs. Lifts a fly ball to Dexter Fowler. He makes the catch. No damage done after the leadoff base hit. We head to the second, and there's no score. Antonio Senzatella, and it leads us to our Toyota keys to the game. Carlos Martinez, very good slider, using it about 24% of the time. Senzatella is trying to use that a little bit more, and yet hasn't had very good success with it. And that's why you see all the fastballs.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs. He's primarily a fastball pitcher, but not a really good with the strikeouts. So when he gets in trouble now, he's trying to learn how to use a slider, and that might have a little bit of growing pains, especially when he can't throw them for strikes. get you in trouble, a little bit more walks, and like I said, not a whole lot of swings and misses, so something to look for today.
2 balls and no strikes on Jed Jerko. 13th multi-hit game of his season last night at Dodger Stadium. Rounds out to DJ LeMahieu, and that's the first out here in the top of the second. Senzatella last year pitched at Double-A Hartford. He went 4-1 with a 1.82 ERA, but only pitched 34 2/3 as he dealt with a family matter a season ago. And the year before that, he was the Class A All-Star pitcher in their organization and their organizational pitcher of the year. Here's Yadier Molina trying to make it a 15-game hitting streak. And this streak currently the longest in baseball. He's hit .279 and he's driven in 8 during those 14 games. 2 balls and no strikes. Last year against the Rockies, the Cardinals met them 6 times and they won 4 of those matchups. The 2-0. In the air, popped up into shallow right. Long way to go for LeMahieu. Foul territory, and it's now a 2 balls and 1 strike count on Yadier Molina. You know, it's interesting, Jimmy. We were talking about how Bud Black is mentioned that he wants to see pitches up in the zone, and you watched how the Cardinals were pitched by the Dodgers. You think about launch angle and how it would take away some of that if you're pitching up in the zone.
Well, you definitely have a few guys on this team that swing through a lot of high fastballs. Colton Wong, obviously early in the year, was having trouble with that. He's now made adjustments. Tommy Pham will chase up and in, especially in and up. And then you have Grichuk, who has trouble with that too. So if I'm watching as a scout, I'm marking that down in my book, and I'm definitely going to go after a team like that. Thing is, it's not just a way to go about everyone in the league, but against a team like the Cardinals, that's definitely something they can go after.
2-2 the count. Molina makes it 15 in a row. Hit streak continues for Yadi with a 1-out base hit here in the top of the second. The all-time record for the Cardinals is 33, and the all-time record for a Cardinal catcher is 19. Ted Simmons did that twice.
You can see Senzatella just looks like he's just really smooth and effortless and throwing the ball between 92 and 95, and sometimes he gets under the ball a little bit and it just kind of stays flat. That pitch to Yadi looked like it stayed flat, and Yadi hit it, like you said, up in the zone. He's lucky some of those don't get drilled into the gap.
And now it's Tommy Pham. Pham is hitting .309. He's popped 3 home runs. He's driven in 11 in just 16 games this year. Well, right now against the right-handed batters, the home plate umpire Lance Barksdale is not giving that outside portion of the plate.
He doesn't look like he's giving very much at all right now, and that's something that's going to raise some eyebrows in the Colorado dugout.
1 ball, 1 strike on Tommy Pham. Senzatella knocks it down, throws high to second, on to first, and they still get him. It's a double play. The Cardinals hit into their second double play. And we're midway through 2 here at Coors Field, and there's no score. in this inning, former Cardinal, now with the Rockies. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Dan, Mark Reynolds had been known as an all-or-nothing guy, but this season he's cut down on his strikeouts, and he's putting together quite a year. He told me he has changed his mindset this season. He said, I now understand you don't have to swing 100% every time. Just try to find the barrel and you get results. He's got 12 homers, 39 RBIs while hitting over 300. He told me, I started out my first at-bat of the season with a homer, and the confidence snowball started rolling in the right direction for me. But Dan, he said, I know in this game that ball can roll downhill real quick. I'm just trying to stay consistent. He's done that, Dan.
He certainly has. 140 games with the Cardinals back in 2014. He had some prodigious home runs, long, mammoth shots. He's got great power. Had 13 home runs that year as he drove in 48. This season batting .311. And the first pitch is taken for a strike. Here at Coors Field, they incorporated the humidor to try to lessen offense and certainly cut down on all the home runs that you see at this ballpark, and they've done studies since then. Really hasn't made that much of a difference.
You would think that that would make a huge difference, but like you said, you get the ball up in the air and it's going to go.
Garcia makes the play, and they just get Reynolds. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. I remember last year in interleague play, Ian Desmond made a point to find my partner, Jim Edmonds. And at that point, he was playing center field for Texas, and he was an all-star, and now he's in left field.
Been playing first base, a little bit of center, a little first, a little left. Started laughing now after I gave him some advice. The next thing I know, he's playing first base. So I wonder if it didn't work out so well for him.
He could flat out hit. That's one thing that he can do. Off to an okay start right now. He's been a little banged up. The slider is a beauty. The first strikeout for Carlos Martinez sends us to the third inning. The Cardinals left Grichuk, Wong, and Martinez coming up. Some nasty stuff from the Cardinal right-hander. Here's Randal Grichuk batting .231 to start things off here in the third. He was 1 for 9 in the series against the Dodgers. 4 home runs, 19 driven in. For Senzatella, very emotional Mother's Day a couple of weekends ago. This 22-year-old says his greatest influence was his mom, who passed away last July from breast cancer. His turn in the rotation was on Mother's Day. And so he carries her spirit with him when he pitches. His mother's name is Nidia, stitched on his cleats and his glove. Also writes on the inside of his hat, he loves her. He prays to her, he says, before every start that you see right there. Says he actually talks to her. And his first ever win in the big leagues was against San Diego. He has that baseball, and he said in the offseason he's taking that ball to her gravesite. This is some of the background of this young right-hander who's been very good this year for the Rockies. Gets his first strikeout. Heard a lot about the fastball. That was a pretty good slider.
One of the very first good ones that he's thrown, actually, and well located, and that's going to be the key for him. I think that you can see all the fastballs, especially here in Coors Field, are a little flat. They don't run a lot, a little bit of movement, but that slider is definitely going to be the key for him moving forward.
1 ball, 1 strike on Colton Wong. On base 3 times last night. A couple of walks and a single against the Dodgers as the Cardinals dropped 2 of 3. And yet with that, they've won 10 of their past 12 road games. And a ground ball that's hit to first and taken by Reynolds. Steps on the bag for out number 2. Memorial Day is Monday, and the Cardinals take on the Dodgers. 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a mystery pocket t-shirt, and you can see which one of the 4 different Cardinal logos will be on your shirt pocket. And get your Memorial Day game tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. What is that he's eating? Chocolate covered fruit.
It's like bacon wrapped strawberries, what it looks like on this little monitor.
That's hit the other way by Martinez, but Cargo is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Senzatella. We head to the bottom of the 3rd, and there's no score. Of Denver and Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. Carlos Martinez was the final out in the top half of this inning, so just finishing up his warm-up tosses. You'll get 7, 8, and 9. Trevor Story will lead it off. You see a lot of red in the seats when you come to Denver and Coors Field. Much of that is attributed to the fact that the Cardinals for the longest time were the furthest team west, and KMOX, the reach of the 50,000 watts of the radio station, was debuted on Christmas Eve of 1925. Less than a year later, the station carried the Cardinals' first World Series against the Yankees. Legendary Bob Hyland became the general manager in 1952. And he was convinced that baseball was the way to win the market. Boy, was he right. And it's been an institution ever since, and now so many people can get their games on the phone or the tablet or back home in television, and so many of our young fans especially follow Cardinals baseball on television. Trevor Story at the plate, 0-2. And Story was the story last year early on in baseball. First 97 games, had 27 home runs. Missed the second half of the season with a tear in his thumb. One-two pitch, and the slider is popped up. Colton Wong makes the catch, and that's the first out.
I feel like Martinez is the guy that this place would be built for. Pitching in Colorado for him with good life to every one of his pitches. This isn't a fastball, curveball, changeup type of place to pitch. He's got good sink. He's got a tight slider. He's got a big breaking ball that he can move all over the place. And then he's got a good changeup. I think that you need that kind of stuff to be successful here. And that's what you see right now. He's kind of pushing through the lineup pretty quickly because he's throwing strikes, and everything he has is quick movements and good velocity.
There's Tony Wolters, the backup catcher here for the Colorado Rockies. When you would face a breaking ball pitcher or see one on your own team and you came here, did you notice that the break wasn't as sharp or it was flat, that it did make a difference in the rarefied air?
I just felt like they were up a lot more. You know, I don't think that they did have that sharp break, and I don't know if you can really pinpoint like they didn't break as much, but I just felt like maybe because if you get beat on them so much, you have a tendency not to really throw it with conviction because you're really not sure of it. And a lot of balls were elevated in the zone. I really truly believe that the guys that did better around here, except for a guy like Darryl Kyle, he had such a devastating breaking ball, were the slider guys, the sinker slider, the guys that came out of the bullpen that threw hard. I felt like those are the guys I didn't want to face here when we were in Denver.
So look at Lance Lynn there in the middle. We'll see him on Sunday. Adam Wainwright will go tomorrow. Lynn was sensational, matched up with Clayton Kershaw in his last start at Dodger Stadium. Rockies catcher made his debut with the Rockies a season ago, his major league debut. That pitch up and away, so the 8th place hitter is walked. Reminder that the U.S. Open from Erin Hills will be broadcast on Fox Sports. You'll see it on FS1 and Fox Sports Go beginning June 15th, the 117th U.S. Open. Rockies have their first base runner since Charlie Blackmon's base hit to right field to start their night.
Speaking of the U.S. Open, you get a chance to watch that. That is some kind of place to play golf.
We were supposed to play that together last year. You did, I believe, with Rick Horton.
We did. You did not make the trip.
No,
but
sir.
Nonetheless, a very spectacular place to play golf. And it is long, long, long.
What would you remember the score?
It was close to the hundreds.
Yeah.
You get into the weeds, and it's about 4 or 5 feet tall. It's not coming out.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. Senzatella bunts it foul, and it's 2 strikes.
The one thing I do remember about that place, though, the very last hole, I think, was a par 5, and I remember going to the very back tips of it and taking a picture of the little placard or whatever you want to call it with the yardage, and it was 680 something yards. I said, I'm going to move up a little bit.
Those guys will probably hit driver 9-iron in there.
Yeah, those guys are incredible.
Senzatella can't get the bunt down. It's a strikeout and the second of the night for Carlos Martinez. StubHub is your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences, from Cardinal games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub connects you with the world of live, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Well, how does a leadoff guy get so many RBIs? 42 now for Charlie Blackmon. Well, when you walk the 8th place hitter, sometimes that's how it happens.
And you're hitting 327.
That helps too.
With 11 homers, by the way.
This guy's a heck of a player.
And then you have Jed Jerko on the other hand. It's a load of solo shots. It makes it really tough to pile up on the RBIs.
Single to right his first time up. Only base hit allowed by Martinez. 0-2 the count. Charlie Blackmon, most RBI as a leadoff hitter before June 1st. This is all time, since really they've been taking a hard look at these kind of stats. Goes back to 1920. Blackmon with 42. Here's an 0-2 pitch. Runner at first is Tony Wolters. And he drives it in the gap into left center field. And that will go all the way to the wall, and Blackmon has driven in his 43rd on his way to third. Relay is not in time. And it's 1-0 Colorado.
Well, there you go, Danny.
7th triple for Charlie Blackmon.
You know what I like about this swing is look at first of all, the location right down the middle, but look at the swing, short and level. And you see right here, he doesn't do a whole lot with his body, and he's got good hands, but his first inning at bat was like that, and then there it is again. He's very consistent with his swing, and that's why you have a guy hitting 327, 11 home runs, and now 43 RBIs.
Martinez will be kicking himself with a walk to the 8th place hitter and an 0-2 pitch to Blackmon. As you talked about, you know, you never want to walk anybody, but especially at this ballpark. Here's DJ LeMahieu, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play first time up.
And walks will definitely kill you at this ballpark because of that right there. The ball's going to scoot through the outfield because it is so big, and that's a double turned into a triple. But it's the other thing, the concentration level, cruising along, and all of a sudden you lose a little bit of concentration out on the mound, and you look up and it's 1-0.
Good fastball at 96, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And as we've been talking about over the year, how Carlos, I'm not going to say he's losing concentration, but I think when he starts cruising, he gets a little lazy and a little lackadaisical, and then all of a sudden, bam, he's down by a run. And then right there, the next hitter you see the aggressiveness, and the 97s and 98s and 99s start popping up.
Like that.
And that's where you want to see him with the walk, get a little more aggressive and not wait till he gives up the home run or the triple or the big hit. And that's where I would like to see him start off in the first inning, and he's been doing that in his last 4 or 5 starts. And tonight I just thought right when he started he looked a little different, looked a little kind of carefree, and you know, he's been doing a good job, but you can't lose that concentration for that walk and then the next hitter.
3-2 is up and in.
I hate to have to see a guy like this with such good stuff have to get mad in order to go out there and be a shutdown pitcher.
So 2 outs, 3-2 the count, runner at third base. And he struck him out, froze him with a slider. Charlie Blackmon is now driven in 43. On an 0-2 pitch, a triple into the gap in left center. And it's 1-0 Colorado. Colorado. Dexter Fowler with a base hit to center. He'll lead it off. Now time for the mini countryman player profile, nicknamed the Little Prince because he's from the same hometown as King Felix Hernandez. Valencia, Venezuela. And the first pitch to Fowler is taken for a strike. The political climate in Venezuela, we talked about it last night. Many of the major league players are calling home every day to check on family and friends, as many of those folks are looking for food, looking for money. It's a nasty situation. A lot of guys used to play winter ball there,
me included. And I went in 1992 down there. And I was there for 2 months, and then they had a little shift in government power, and they had a coup, and they tried to overthrow the government. And I said, "Okay, check, please. I got to get out of here."
You'd had enough.
They shut down basically the Constitution, gave a curfew, and if you were out after dark, it was not good. And the sights and the things that I saw down there during a 2-month period were unbelievable.
Cardinals
I'll never forget.
Used to have a baseball academy there that's been shut down, and you know, you think about your employees and their safety. You'd love to dip into some of the talent there. Clearly anybody in baseball would, but reality is you worry about your employees. As Fowler hits a high fly ball into right center. Blackmon is there to make the catch. First out here in the 4th. Brings in Greg Garcia. Greg Garcia used to come to this ballpark as a bat boy. His grandfather was a coach, a bench coach with the Rockies. Grandpa played in the minor leagues, starting with the St. Louis Browns, managed the Angels and Indians. His father was a first-round pick of the Yankees. And he told me as a bat boy here, Buddy Bell was the manager. Grandfather would have Greg on the bench. He said being here as a bat boy is what convinced him that he wanted to be a major league player. And I said, do you remember anything about that experience? And he said the one that comes to mind, a benches clearing brawl. I started to get ready to run out there to be a part of it, and his grandfather basically tackled him and said, "Where are you going? Sit down." Garcia with a slow roller to second. LeMahieu makes the play. And with that, there are 2 outs. And the batter will be Matt Carpenter. Carpenter fly to right his first time up. 2 outs and nobody on. Senzatella is coming off a no decision against the Reds last start. Gave up 4 runs in 5 innings. He walked a career high 4 in that game. An eventual 12-8 loss by the Rockies. Last 2 starts, 8 earned runs in 10 innings. And a lot of that due to a lack of control with 7 walks, but that has not been the case here tonight.
You know what we talked about, he pitches to contact, not because he wants to, it's just the way he is. And right now he's got 45 pitches, and with that fastball, he's only thrown 5 sliders so far, and just the 1 strikeout. So this is, like we said, something to watch when game gets later, gets into trouble, pitch count gets up, and these guys get a little bit more comfortable hitting at Coors Field.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. On the inside corner, he struck him out. Here at Coors Field with 35, originally drafted by the Rockies. More on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Dexter remains in the leadoff spot tonight for the Cardinals. I talked with Fowler before the game about Mike Matheny considering the possibility of moving Fowler somewhere else in the lineup. Fowler was pretty candid about it. He told me, of course I want to stay in the leadoff spot. That's where I've always been, but that's up to Mike. He said he understands why Mike is considering the move, but he thinks his bat is coming around. He told me, I've hit some balls really well recently. Some have been at somebody, some have been caught at the wall. Dan, he would love to get his season jump-started right here in Denver, where it all began for him.
No doubt. There's Nolan Arenado, one of the great young stars in the game today. And Mike Matheny wasn't so sure that that ball should have been called fair. And so what he can do here is that he can go to the umpires and ask that they come together if someone else had a better look. It's where it goes over the bag. It's not reviewable on the outfield. The infield is it is reviewable on the outfield plays, but not reviewable on infield.
And
The fair or foul.
See by that replay how tough this has got to be on everyone.
And the call will stand, so it's a leadoff double. It brings in Carlos Gonzalez, Grounded out to second, first time up, riding an 8-game hitting streak in which he's hit .455. His average has jumped from .207 to .256 at the start of play tonight. Now the Rockies fell yesterday 2-1 in 11 innings at Philadelphia. Just wrapped up their season-long road trip of 10 games. They went 7-3. They are 10 games above 500 on the road. It's sharply to first. Taken there by Carpenter. Arenado going from second to third. Overall, they have the best record currently in the National League. BJC Healthcare difference maker, and a couple of those guys on display tonight. Starters 25 and under, lowest ERAs in the National League this year. Rockies with 2 of them. Carlos Martinez 3.28. Senzatella, the starter for the Rockies, 3.67. Infield is drawn in. Reynolds a base hit into right, and it makes it 2-0 Colorado. Drives in his 40th.
See right there, just he's trying to go down and in and just not getting it down and in. I don't know if he's hoping it's going to sink a little bit more and flattening out, or he is just missing just enough with his location.
Ian Desmond struck out first time up. That slider backs up. Very tough sun field for the first baseman. Off the glove of Martinez and a double play ball. 1-4-6-3. Hit off the tip of the glove, slowed it up just a bit, but enough that the Cardinals still could get the double play. All right, Sarah, thank you. Jed Jerko leads it off. We're in the top of 5, and it's 2-0 Colorado. Jerko grounded to second, first time up. And the first pitch is hit out of play. Coming into this ball game, the Cardinal third baseman, the best road average in the National League at .397. hit safely in 16 of his last 17 road games. And he pops it up. Trevor Story wants it, under it, has it. And with that, there's one away. Keep the party going on June 10th during the Ritz kickoff to summer weekend at Busch Stadium. And that day, the Cardinals take on the Phillies. 30,000 fans, 16 and older, will get a fashion boost with a one-of-a-kind Cardinals all over print shirt. So don't miss out. Cardinals.com/promotions. Molina extending his hitting streak to 15, first time up. Mentioned earlier that Rogers Hornsby is the leader all time in consecutive games with a base hit in Cardinals history. He was born in a small town in Texas, youngest son of a cattle ranger. As a kid, he would play against grown men in area baseball leagues. So here he was, a kid. He was 13 at the time. That is a foul ball in foul territory when it hit Yadier Molina. Playing against grown men, Cardinals had a scout there just to see some of the talent out there. And by the time he was 19, he was in the major leagues. 1922, led the National League in 10 offensive categories. 3 times he hit over 400.
Truly, those stories back in the day are amazing. How they found the talent.
Yeah.
People would travel and look at these guys on farms and have them throw against the old barn. And I was watching actually channel today. They were talking about in the 20s about the pitching and how everyone always asks, how was the pitching back there? How was it so easy for Babe Ruth to hit 60 home runs, whatever? And it seems like they just threw fastballs all the time.
Arenado, nice play.
And the historian was talking about that the majority of the games were under 2 hours. And if it was a 2-hour game, that was considered a very long game. And that most of the pitchers were under 90 pitches for 9 innings. They just threw the ball up over the plate and guys hacked at it. And it was amazing to listen to this thing today that I was watching, and I think it was on the MLB channel, but it was very informative to listen to how he described the game back in the days.
It's sharply to short, and Pham is out. Senzatella has faced the minimum through 5. 2-0 Rockies. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Blue Jays getting healthier. Josh Donaldson and the former Rocky Troy Tulowitzki back in their lineup. And Ken Giles recorded the 50,000th save in baseball history. Saves became official stat in 1969. The Tulowitzki deal is an interesting one if you're a Rocky fan. He was a fan favorite. He was the face of the franchise. And yet they traded him away to Toronto. They got a single-A pitcher. They had Miguel Castro, who's now with Baltimore. Jeff Hoffman, who's at AAA. He has pitched a little bit with the Rockies. And the toughest part, I'm sure, for the Rockies to look at is that if they were going to make the deal, they had to take Jose Reyes. Reyes is now with the Mets, and he's being paid $21.46 million by the Rockies to play in New York.
And that would be how high on the payroll here in Colorado?
Number one. So it's a deal. You never know what you're going to get back. You hope you see that young players pan out, but you just don't know. And they had to take on the salary of Alex Reyes, or rather Jose Reyes. And it was the issues that Reyes had, domestic violence issues here in Colorado, that opened the door for him to wind up in New York and then allow Trevor Story to play. And Story sends a fly ball to left. And the catch made by Tommy Pham. Tony Walters will be the hitter with one out and nobody on. He had a walk back in the third, and then with 2 outs, driven in by Charlie Blackmon. We were talking about between innings early baseball, and you mentioned how guys were told to chop down on the ball. Bad fields.
He said the fields weren't manicured. Guys choked up because the wood was so heavy, and they tried to put the ball in play, chop through it, get it through the infield, and just get on base. And obviously a lot of those balls turned into ground balls to the infielders, and that's why the pitch counts were down so much. And then
that is a fair ball, played perfectly by Grichuk, and Walters on his way to second base with a 1-out double.
And as I was saying, Babe Ruth was one of the first guys to show up on the scene that was big and strong enough to be able to swing these bats that they had were so heavy, like the guys do today, and he kind of changed the game.
How many ounces for you?
32, 33 sometimes.
Later in the season, would you go to a lighter bat?
Almost to 31 and a half.
Get tired.
Yeah, and you know what though? I realized as I got a little bit older that was only making me swing harder. And so I tried to stick with the 32-ounce bat, sometimes 33. And even when I struggled, I would go to like a 35, 34, just to keep me from moving around too much.
Stayed out in front of the plate. And Senzatella is out number 2. Take the Cardinals with you with Fox Sports Go. You can stream all the games this weekend live on your phone. Download the free Fox Sports Go app. Stream the Cardinals wherever you go. So here is Blackmon, who had a triple back in the third. He's 2 for 2. He now has 7 triples, which is more than half the league.
Well, you could take a look at that outfield and see why. I mean, it's just not the ball that's carrying, it's the ball that gets through the gaps because the right fielder is so far away from the center fielder, and likewise in left field there is just so much ground out there to cover. And you know what I noticed, and I don't know, I haven't been down there today, but I feel like the field is a lot thinner. The grass is not as deep and thick as it used to be.
Makes a difference in a ball getting through, going all the way to the wall. Here's a 1-1 pitch by Martinez. We've talked about it a lot. You were a guy that played extremely shallow, but do you change that here?
Yeah, not so much here. And you look, I mean, if you really look at the things that really stick out, and just by looking at the outfield, you see 415. Okay, I get that, right? 390 in the gap in left center field, and it still keeps going outward into that corner. And obviously that's the deepest part of the ballpark. I'd like to know what that is in that corner over there, but it's a long way from the left fielder and the center fielder. You can see right there, there's so much room out there. And the thing that you don't realize is the ball does carry to get out of the ballpark, but the ball stays in the air longer. And so the ball just keeps going a little bit further than you think, and it just makes it for that much farther for you to run, and you can't catch up to some of those balls in the gap that you would in normal ballparks.
Think of those balls in the gap, and I think about Rick Ankiel and Rick Ankiel's throws at this ballpark. So Jimmy just mentioned it. He had 390, and this was the first of his 2 throws that were just incredible that night in May of 2008.
And Adam Kennedy was telling him to throw the ball to second base.
Yes. And this is the one that's ridiculous. That's right around that 390 sign. It's probably about 395, 400, and on a fly to third base. Incredible.
Can never watch that enough. I mean, like I said, when he was in town, what a special talent on a special arm.
It's a swing and a miss, and Molina lost it. And so the runners advance to second and third. I think he just boxed it. It's a pass ball on Yadier Molina.
Not so sure that might have been supposed to be a cutter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an uncomfortable situation for the catcher. If you're expecting a 93-mile-an-hour cutter and you get a 98-mile-an-hour sinker, and you could see Yadi was expecting that ball to cut, that's not a good situation. Lucky he didn't take that off the wrist.
Yeah, initially I thought he boxed it. Then the replay, clearly he's expecting something else.
Now you know why we have signs for the pitcher and the catcher, because
yeah.
it is not that easy to catch, especially with that kind of velocity.
0-2 the count. Runners at second and third. LeMahieu is bounced into a double play, and also he was called out on strikes on a 3-2 slider back in the third. Hit out of play. Oh-2 pitch again. Foul back. 100 on the gun by Martinez. His last start, he was as good as we've seen any pitcher this year. 9 scoreless innings against the Giants. Gave up just 2 hits. Cardinals lost the game eventually 3-1 in 13 innings. Struck him out. So 4 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez. We head to the 6th, and it's 2-0. Midwest is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, a century of innovation. Senzatella had an 8-pitch fifth inning, a total of 54 here tonight, and he has faced the minimum. There's a leadoff base hit by Fowler, erased on a double play in the first. Yadier Molina extended his hitting streak to 15 with a single to center in the second, and he was erased on a double play. You know, Jimmy, sometimes you get in early in the mornings, late at night, like last night, and your voice just, something happens.
I mean, I don't know what your problem is. You've only done, what, 4,000, 10,000 games? I don't know. 60 in a row this year.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the stuff you do before and after, and then maybe you have to raise your voice to the kids every now and then. It's a lot of work for you.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst part, screaming at the kids. 2-1 here on Randall Grichuk. Congratulations to you. Your daughter was married over the weekend.
Yes, she was. Had a nice
great
trip down to Mexico and got everyone together, and it was very nice. A little wedding on the beach.
Nice. Three and 1 the count. He has not walked anybody. Chevy Fox Tracks. Here's a 3-1. And he went. And Mike Matheny not happy about that.
Danny, that's the one as a hitter you do not like at all. The ball that you start to check and the ball's up by your head, and there's just no way to hold your hands back.
And Grichuk sends it into right. Cargo won't come up with it. And instead of the walk, it's a double for Randall Grichuk. He'd rather have that, and Grichuk now with 14 doubles to lead the club. Cancer Awareness Night is coming up May 30th, presented by Seidman Cancer Center. Purchase a special theme ticket. You'll receive a Cardinals hat with various awareness colors of the most prevalent cancers in St. Louis. And get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. So the first Cardinal hit since back in the second. And the tying run comes to the plate in Colton Wong. One thing that really stands out for the Rockies this year, the back end of their games, Greg Holland hasn't allowed a run in 10 2/3, a .96 ERA this season, a total of 2 earned the entire year. 19 for 19 in save opportunities. The point being,
so
get to the Rockies early.
You're saying you better score now.
Yep.
Or quickly.
One and 2 the count.
You can see Senzatella just keeps pounding that fastball in the zone. It's surprising to me that the Cardinals hitters are taking so many pitches.
Missed on the outside corner. 2 and 2. And your point with that would be just being aggressive against this guy?
You know, fastball's coming. I mean, what did we said when he had about 45 pitches an inning and a half ago, that he had only thrown 5 sliders. So you got to believe that unless he's really sneaky or he has a little bit of a different delivery, you're looking fastball. You got to believe you can catch one if you're ready to hit at every pitch.
Wong hits it down the left field line. It is tailing, and it is a foul ball. Big crowd here at Coors Field on this Friday night. Memorial Day weekend. Well, that wasn't fouled by much.
Ball carried a long way down into that corner, didn't it?
Sure did. It's the thing about this place is that it's, you know, the routine fly balls just turn into gappers or home runs.
I feel like the ball just doesn't ever come down. For some reason, when you run to a spot where you think the ball is going to be, it's always 5 or 6 feet further.
And Cincinnati wants to visit. There's the rock pile, and that is sold out tonight. Last time I believe that you were at this ballpark, they did not have the party deck area in right center. That's been added here to the ballpark.
It's definitely a big improvement to those big sets of seats that used to be up there, usually empty. It's a long way up there. That's a long way up there. And if you look around from right field and you move over to almost foul territory at right field, you can see how high the seats go, almost all the way to the bottom of that roof.
3-2, first base open, pitcher spot on deck. If you're Colton Wong, more than likely you're getting a pitch to drive right here.
I'm betting on it right here, and sometimes you have to sell out for a fastball, especially if, like I said, he's sneaky, because he seems to be getting in on guys at 93, 94. That tells me that his delivery is a little off. And just when we say that, he might drop the slider on you.
And Wong hits it foul.
You never know, though. I remember a guy like Aaron Harang used to throw 90, 91, maybe 92 every now and then, and it looked so big, and it just snuck in on you all the time, and it would give everyone fits.
3-2 pitch again. And Wong sends a fly ball into right center. Blackman is over, makes the catch. Grichuk will tag up from second to third. So what do you do now if you're the Cardinals and Carlos Martinez coming up?
Well, if it was me, I would ask him to get a base hit right here, Danny. And I would say, we really need this run, Carlos. So please have a good at bat. Put the ball in play, actually, is the first thing I would ask him to do. But you got to stick with him right here. And you, like you said, that the back of that bullpen is pretty good. You want to get this run in here, but you also have a good pitcher on the mound yourself, and you don't want to take him out too early.
He lined out to right. He's got 4 hits this year, 2 of which have been doubles. He's showing bunt. Cardinals do this a lot with Martinez. Show bunt, pull back in swing.
Never was a big fan. I feel like it's for me to ask a guy who doesn't hit a lot, and this is my opinion, and for me, I'm giving him too much to worry about, to think about, and then he's pulling back, and his maturity level, he's just trying to rip. So I'd rather him get up there and see the ball and literally just try to put the ball in play and try to drive this run in.
R.A. Dickey, Adam Wainwright, Carlos Martinez all have driven in 5 apiece, most among pitchers in baseball. Former third baseman on the mound, pitching to a former shortstop. Senzatella's family was all about baseball. His dad got him his first glove. His grandfather was a carpenter, made him his first bat. He was a third baseman, but because of that big arm, then converted to a pitcher. Steps off, a ball and 2 strikes. Grichuk, your runner at third base. 2-2. It's a big run out there. Just get on the board.
1. Got to get 1 before you can get 2. You can see right here, we talked about this early in the game, he really doesn't have a strikeout pitch. And so the pitch before that, he really reared back, and for the first time we saw above 95, which we saw 97, and then right there tried to do it again, lost his mechanics a little bit, and almost fired it to the backstop. So not having that put away slider causes him to have to reach back once in a while and overthrow.
Swing and a miss held on to by Walters, and a strikeout of Carlos Martinez. Reminder that Sunday, June 11th, kids 15 and under entering with a ticket will be able to field like the pros with their new Rawlings Kids Baseball Glove featuring 2 Cardinal logos. And join us at Busch Stadium, final day of the Ritz kickoff to summer weekend, and that's June 11th. Third strikeout. And now the Cardinals need a 2-out rally starting here with Dexter Fowler. Fowler has a base hit to center and also flied out to center. Arcia in the driver's seat. Cardinal leadoff man. His career with the Rockies. Good on base percentage, 40 home runs, over 80 steals, the all-time leader in triples at Coors Field with 35. He had 11 of the 35 in one season back in 2010. Franchise leader in starts in center field. 14th round pick in 2004. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Fowler. And he pulls it foul. One-two pitch to Dexter. Puts it in play, slowly hit towards the right side. Reynolds slips and out at first. Cardinals will take a close look at this. He's out. So the Cardinals strand a runner. We're midway through 6. The Cardinals continue their the Rockies at 7:30. FS1 has the Royals and Indians, Cubs and Dodgers on Fox at 6. All the games are also streaming on Fox Sports Go. So Martinez is now pitching into the bottom of the 6th. And a strike to Nolan Arenado. Only 64 pitches for Carlos tonight, the 0-1. Arenado coming off a monster 2016. 41 home runs. Drove in 133. Now in his 5th year in the big leagues. Popped out to the right side. This will be Carpenter. He puts it away for the out. Even though the Rockies are getting very good starting pitching, Jimmy, you know this quite well. You normally don't see a shutout this deep into games here at Coors Field. It just doesn't happen.
And very rarely do you see a game that's 2-0 into the bottom of the 6th inning. Seen a lot of guys miss a few pitches, popping them up. Carlos has done a really nice job, and that goes back to what I said earlier. With just fastball slider, you get enough movement to keep people off your pitches and not hanging any breaking balls and not leaving any changeups over the plate. Those are the balls that tend to end up in the seats, and he's been doing a really good job right now. Just got to get a little offense for the Cardinals and try to get back into this game.
Here's a 1-1. Gonzalez is 0 for 2, trying to make it a 9-game hitting streak. Last weekend he picked up career home run number 200 as a Rocky, the 5th to do that in franchise history. The all-time leader in home runs is Todd Helton with 369. Swing and a miss, and strikeout number 5.
You see that slider right there, nice and tight. What did I tell you today when we were talking about Carlos Martinez in his last outing? I said eventually he's going to have that no-hitter because he's got that kind of stuff, and we're watching it. He's getting better each time he goes out there. If he can just keep it together and concentrate for 9 innings, we're going to see an amazing young star really take off.
This month of May has been just sensational. One of the best pitchers in baseball. That one caught Molina on the foul ball by Reynolds. But Martinez is 3-0 with a 1.86 ERA in May. The opposition has only hit 158 against him. That got his toe, it looked like.
The only little tiny spot that is not covered up by all that padding seems to find you.
Yachty is not the league leader in innings caught this year. That's Martin Maldonado. He has him by 1 inning. That's it. Day in, day out, all the nicks, the bruises, the soreness, and he's still there. Can't imagine what his right hand looks or left hand looks like, you know, after a season or even now. All these guys that throw so hard. He'll go through a couple of catcher's mitts throughout the year. I remember it was really a point of emphasis a few seasons ago when you had Segrist, Martinez, Rosenthal all throwing high 90s, 100. Just how the glove would absorb all that.
Well, he's a trooper, and you know that. Today would have been one of those days you might expect him to take off after that ridiculously late entrance into Colorado this morning at about, what'd you say, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, 4:30, something like that.
Not
we got
too
here.
bad. Mike did a great job of backing up the buses and keeping them off the field and just giving everybody that little extra couple hours they need. It's hard. I mean, you know how it is. You got up early. People don't. So you get into a routine, and just because you get in late doesn't mean you're going to sleep all day and get the rest that you need.
So it's a strike on Reynolds on the foul ball that went to the backstop. And it's 3-2.
I think the umpire was calling him out, and Reynolds said, hey, the ball's back there by the backstop, by the way.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Carlos Martinez. We head to the 7th, and it's 2-0 Rockies. This is our Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Senzatella has been outstanding here tonight. He struck out 3. Defensively, the Rockies have turned 2 double plays. Has not walked a man, and he's given up a total of 3 base hits. First pitch to Garcia. This is the 87th game at Coors Field for the Cardinals. They've only been shut out twice. One was on an opening day matchup with Mike Hampton and Darryl Kyle, as Garcia hits it out to left, and the catch is made by Desmond. What a play.
What a great play.
Yeah.
What some kind of athlete, huh?
The other shutout was tossed by Jeff Francis. Lighten up, Jimmy.
I was definitely there for the first one.
Mike Hampton.
Well, it was, we rolled into here opening day, opening series, and got our brains beat out for 3 straight days. Don't remember what year that was, but then I don't think we lost another game. 2 weeks. Our pitchers were ready to commit suicide.
There's Carpenter, who is 0 for 2, and the 0-1 pitch. Cardinals have been held to 3 hits or fewer only once. And tonight only 3 base hits. And for the Rockies, it's been a great run this year. They've shut out 3 opponents at home. They did that 3 times last year, and they've already done that twice this year. So 3 times total a year ago. 2-1 pitch. And that's a base hit for Carpenter. It'll bring the tying run to the plate. Kubota power stats, and the Cardinals love playing at this ballpark. At least the offense does. I'm not so sure the pitchers do. But all time at this ballpark, averaging nearly 6 runs a game. The Kubota power stats. Here's Jed Jerko. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to second. Popped out to short. He could tie it with 1 swing. And it's hit out of play.
It looks like he's been getting back into that comfort zone. Also taking some really good swings the last couple days. Not chasing out of the zone anymore, and you can see right there he's just a little bit behind, and that's one of those things, like, got to have a little bit of life to this fastball even though it's only 93.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jerko.
Senzatella also done a really good job of hitting his spots tonight. It seems like every time Wolters puts the glove in the area, he's around that area, and that has been getting him out of some innings and getting some pop-ups and some ground balls.
2-1 the count. He's looking to join Clayton Kershaw, Irvin Santana, Dallas Keuchel as the only pitchers in baseball with 7 wins.
That one spun up there a little bit. Jed was just a little out front. But that's what you would look like when you're looking dead red, knowing that you're going to get 95% fastballs. Might be just a little out in front of that slider, but I'll take that because you're going to get yourself another fastball right here.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first is Carpenter. Ground ball that's hit to third. Out at second, the turn, and it's a double play. The Rockies turning their third double play of the night. Time to stretch, 2-0.
Is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Highest ground ball percent pitchers this season. The Cardinals at 48.1. The Rockies 50.2. And there have been 5 double plays, ground ball double plays turned in this game. 3 by the Rockies and 2 by St. Louis. And there's ball 1 to Ian Desmond. He hit into a double play back in the 4th. Has also made a great catch in left field. No activity in either bullpen and a 1-1 pitch. Cardinals start play tonight, a game back of Chicago. Playing the Dodgers this weekend. Milwaukee a half game back of the Cubs. St. Louis 1, Cincinnati 3, Pittsburgh 4. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And he struck him out. That's 3 in a row and 7 tonight for Martinez. So double plays, part of the story here tonight. Ray Garcia early on. Cardinals have turned 2 of their own. Mentioned the success of the young pitching staff of the Rockies. Much of that due to the fact, though, that their defense behind them is really good, led by their third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Trevor Story is 0 for 2, popped out to second, flied out to left.
See that exploding fastball Martinez has been throwing right there. You got another one on Story's hands, but go back a pitch before that. The slider to Desmond was devastating. 2 pitches before that, he got the fastballs that made him speed up.
High fly ball into right field. Richick makes the catch for out number 2. That's 5 in a row set down by Martinez after the walk in the 5th to Charlie Blackmon. Tell you what, Carlos Martinez is fun to watch.
Tell you what, he looks like he can just literally fool around out there.
Yep.
And cruise through a game with the stuff he's throwing.
Wainwright tomorrow, Lynn on Sunday. Starters have gone 6 or more innings in now 34 of the 45 games the club has played in. It's tied with the Washington Nationals. And remember, they had that string of 10 straight that was snapped last night at Dodger Stadium. But your starters give you 6, keeps you in games, you got a chance to win. Two and two. Tony Wolters at the plate, walked and scored, and a double off the wall in right field. Plaza Tire Service replay and the explosion there of the fastball.
And that ball, I mean, he's not even close to that ball at 97 miles an hour. And you watch here, if he throws that fastball like that, and when you beat a hitter like that with the fastball near the zone, the slider sometimes just makes you look ridiculous. So when you're walking back to the dugout, you don't know what to do.
The 2-2 struck him out. 2 in the inning, 8 tonight for Carlos Martinez. We head to the 8th. It's 2-0. This will be the first time he's ever pitched into the 8th inning here in the big leagues. This being his 10th career start. In the 9 starts that he's made for the Rockies prior to tonight, the club has won 7 of the 9. So Bud Black has to be thrilled with what he's seen here in Game 1.
You know what's funny is and Mike Matheny said this, I think it was last year, about O coming out of the bullpen, and he said, you know, we don't know much about these guys, but
wow, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
What did you say? Something about a Gold Glove?
4 of them, soon to be 5. That guy is worth the price of admission.
That is a little bit of self-defense, a little bit of hand-eye coordination. I'm going to go with self-defense first, and then just the hand-eye coordination. That he sees that ball every day during batting practice. And not crack a smile is kind of disappointing. That's the Scott Rowland effect right there. I was telling you how inside he's sweating. On the outside it was nice and cool and calm and made every play.
A strike to Tommy Pham. He is the first third baseman, by the way, to win 4 straight Gold Gloves since Scott Rowland did that There's a broken bat and a single hit by Tommy Pham. He is the first third baseman in Major League history to win a Gold Glove 4 consecutive years to start his career.
Well, we kind of know why now. Doesn't hurt that the offense he puts up kind of brings a little bit more attention to him.
Sure. And now it's Grichuk. So one swing of the bat, this game could be tied. It's Mike Dunn on the right, a left-hander. Jordan Lyles on the left, the right-hander. Grichuk has doubled tonight to right field. Here's a 1-1. Ground ball left side, could be 2 out there. They've done it again. They have turned 4 double plays tonight. Two of the double plays started by Nolan Arenado, and this incredible play. Yeah, I got it. No big deal. Brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. That'll be it for Senzatella. And they'll go to Holland to finish this game off, who's 19 for 19 at save opportunities. You could have a scenario in which Carlos Martinez pitches back-to-back complete games and doesn't come away with a win and maybe a loss.
I think that has to be, I don't know about you, but it's a hard decision for me to not send that young man back out there to finish this game. Senzatella, that is.
It'll be 8, which is Wong, and then the pitcher spot, and then Dexter Fowler coming up for the Cardinals. On the other side, Senzatella very good, but so has Carlos Martinez been. We were talking before the game. You and I both really like Parham. I think he's a good player, good defensive player. He's won a Gold Glove. 2-1 pitch. Can play all 3 outfield spots and first base.
I think he made a really good name for himself in Arizona, and he was always one of those guys that you never knew what you were going to get when you were playing against him. He was going to get that base hit to left field, or the next thing you know, he was driving the ball into the pool in right center field.
On the outside corner, and a strikeout for Martinez. And that is 9 for Carlos. Nissan drive of the game. It's Charlie Blackmon. And this triple, his 7th of the year, back in the 3rd inning. That would bring in Tony Walters, and that would put the Rockies on the board. Martinez has struck out 9 in 5 of the last 6 that he's seen. Blackmon tonight is 2 for 2 with a walk. On base 3 times. And a high drive into deep right field. And this ball is gone. His 12th home run of the year. Reaction of Martinez. He knew it. Mislocation. A high towering drive into the seats in right.
The scary thing about you said he missed location. That's only 1 full ball on the plate and up. That's actually a really good swing by a guy that we talked about with a short level swing, and he's having a really good night tonight.
Matt Bowman will be our Chevy call to the pen. It makes it a 3-0 Rockies lead. But he's on the short end currently. 3-0 Rockies with the lead. Matt Bowman, the Hyundai pitch arsenal, the fastball, split finger, and slider. And it's DJ LeMahieu with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. 3-0 our score. First pitch right back up the middle. And a 1-out base hit.
I was just about to say this is the kind of guy you would think would be good for Coors Field. But welcome to the game. Almost got his head taken off right there. Good sinker. And that's the thing about the sinker guys. I mean, if you're a good hitter, you know that guy's coming in with a sinker. You got to go down and get that ball, be ready to hit. Didn't get it low enough, and LeMahieu just went down and got it.
And now Arenado. A double to right field. Run scored back in the 4th. Popped out to Carpenter at first. Flied out to center. This is a very good lineup the Rockies possess night in and night out. And now they're getting the pitching to match it. So 1 out runner at first. Adam Wainwright is our Budweiser What's on Tap. Kyle Freeland will go for the Rockies. We'll come your way at 7:30 tomorrow.
And Freeland was on that list that we showed earlier. Those guys at the very bottom of the lowest ERAs in the league. He was number 2 on that list, I believe.
Pitchers 25 years of age or younger and their ERAs. 2 balls and no strikes. Rockies trying to go to 32-18. If the Cardinals cannot come back, they would drop to 23-22. And the 2-0 pitch. Trying to think of the better lineups in the game. You'd be hard pressed to find one that's better than this Rockies team. Win healthy, Arenado rolling, Blackman at the top. They've added Desmond. It's been very, very good.
Just looking up at the averages up there, and you can see that the only really thing that sticks out is Story, and he's been hurt. Other than that, everybody's putting up pretty good numbers.
Cargo hasn't really gotten going yet. Wait till he gets hot.
Yeah, but not far off. And like I said, this is a dangerous team in a big ballpark with a lot of places for the ball to fall.
3-1 pitch to Arenado. 3-2. Arenado is the starting third baseman for the World Baseball Classic Team USA championship team. Really struggled during the WBC, but his timing is back and then some. Drive into left center field and trouble for the Cardinals. All the way to the wall. LeMahieu will score to make it 4-0 Rockies.
Some really good hitting by Arenado. I mean, 4 sinkers in a row. Ball that you didn't really think was a strike. You swing at a bad pitch, and then he comes back with a slider that doesn't do much, and he just goes down and gets it. Another short swing. These guys, I'm telling you, these guys here, they have some really good swings, and they're short. They're not flying out of their shoes. A couple guys here and there, but these guys that are really good hitters, you can see their short swings, and that's what makes it so tough to get these guys out.
Now Cargo. Good changeup. Trying to make it a 9-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out to second, grounded to first, and struck out. Rockies were stretching before their game yesterday in Philly, and he was saying to his teammates, this is a different team. It feels different. We're much better on the road. We have confidence. Back-to-back changeups, 0-2 the count. And watch how they're playing. It's just a different feel to this club. Another changeup, 3 in a row to Cargo. He strikes out. Plaza Tire Service, and the strikeout of Carlos Gonzalez.
Carlos Gonzalez right there looked like as if Matt Bowman had pitched him in the past and he was trying to do some damage. You don't see a guy like that swing at 3 sliders, not even close, especially with the body position he ended up in the last time.
So here is Reynolds. So the Rockies have struck out collectively in this lineup 10 times, but yet they have a lead of 4-0. Reynolds, an RBI base hit to right, picking up his 40th ribby of the year. And the 1-0 pitch to the Rockies' first baseman. Also grounded out to short and struck out. Right down the middle, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Oh my. Deep left field. Reynolds with a 2-run homer. Reynolds with his 13th home run. He's driven in 3 tonight. That makes it a 6-0 Rockies lead.
See right there, just missed location. Cannot throw a home run hitter like that. So many fastballs in a row. After getting behind, it would just make it hurt.
That's it for Matt Bowman. He gets 1 out. Faced 4 hitters, gave up a single, a double, and now the 2-run homer. Miguel Sokolovich coming in. Our Chevy call to the pen. It's 6-0 Rockies. Now Mark Reynolds, a 2-run homer. He's driven in 3. Miguel Sokolovic, his numbers this year: 15th appearance, 6-0 Rockies, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Ian Desmond has struck out twice in this game and bounced into a double play. Well, moments ago it was a 2-run game, and now 6-0. One ball and 1 strike.
It was interesting what you said too, and we were in a situation right there when it was 3-0 to Reynolds, and I thought, is he really going to pitch around him because he got Desmond on deck? And like I said, you have to come back and throw so many fastballs to a guy like that. It's just not a good idea.
So Greg Holland can have a seat, non-save situation. Distance in the home run off the bat of Reynolds, 458 feet. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Up and in, 2-2. A lot of times pitchers talk about too, not only the break is missing, but the grip of the baseball is missing too.
The dryness of being up here is sometimes makes the ball a little slick. And yeah, it's tough. Not only is it tough to get the ball to break, it's tough to get a good grip on a ball to be able to throw that breaking ball.
2-2 pitch. Fly ball into shallow right center, and it drops in for a hit. I'm not sure that Fowler saw that all that well off the bat.
I think that ball is a little bit of a slider cutter off the end of the bat with a big swing, and this is what kind of we talked about before early in the game, is these base hits right here, even though it's a little late, are the ones that end up killing you over the year, because those start to pile up with the walks, and then you do get that one big swing. But you can tell that that wasn't much of a fly ball, and normally that'd be caught in most ballparks, but because everyone's so deep, plenty of room for it to fall.
Here's Story, and he looks at a strike. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Popped out to second, fly to left, and also fly to right. Here's the 0-1. Fowler going back. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. The wave in the runner. The relay is not in time, and a run scores. That's Desmond, and it's 7-0 Rockies.
You see now how far the ball carries. The ball was a line drive, and it lands at the 415 mark. Not much of an effort getting it back in there, but this inning right here, I think started off with a strikeout. Now we went homer, single, double, strikeout, homer, single, double. And it looks like this Colorado Rockies team is getting a little bit more comfortable at the plate, because you can see the swings are getting bigger and bigger.
Walters tonight has walked and scored and doubled off the wall in right field. Also struck out back in the 7th. 1 for 2 on the night. 7-0 the lead. The Rockies with 5 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Parra standing on deck with the leadoff pinch hit. I don't think you get to come into a game and pinch hit and hit twice in an inning very often, do you?
No. And he struck out to start the inning. At that time, it was Carlos Martinez. We've seen Bowman and now Sokolovic. One ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch from the Cardinals right-hander is a base hit into center. Everybody safe. So Parra started the inning as a pinch hitter and comes up for the second time. Miguel has come in and allowed 2 singles and the double. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. When Parra struck out, that was the 9th strikeout for Carlos Martinez, and he had struck out 5 of the last 6 he had seen. Then it was the solo home run by Blackman, and everything started to roll the way of the Colorado Rockies. So 2 on and 2 outs. And ball 1. Two and 0. Two-0 pitch to Parra. 2-1. Two and 2. This game had been so well pitched on both sides until Martinez was taken out of the game. 3-0 at that point. Rockies have added 4 more. 7-0 lead. The 2-2 pitch. Hit the other way, slicing, and that's a fair ball. 1 run is in. Here comes another. Throw to the plate is in time, but the ball is dropped and 2-run score. And it's a 9-0 Colorado lead.
Not sure if that was 5 in a row. I think that might have been 5 changeups in a row. You can see we talked about Parra being a good hitter, and he just stays with it. All you got to do is get it out there fair. Nice relay here. Yachty just didn't hang on to the ball.
It's 7 runs in this inning. Here's Blackman. 3 hits on the night, on base 4 times. Nobody throwing in the Cardinals' pen. This is all Miguel to try to get that final out. That's a base hit into right center. Another run will score, and this makes it 10-0 Colorado. Blackman, a 4-hit night. He was a double away from the cycle, and he took a wide turn around first base, maybe thinking 2. Here's DJ LeMahieu. A base hit to center, a run scored, struck out twice, and also grounded into a double play. It's now 14 hits tonight for the Rockies, 8 runs here in the 8th inning. And there's a strike. Into right, and a diving catch made by Randal Grichuk. And Jordan Lyles came over in a trade from Houston for Dexter Fowler. And he's into the ball game, his 14th appearance. Lefties hitting .462 against him.
Did I hear that correctly? Brad said he didn't want to come into the game right now?
That's correct.
He'd given up 11 here before?
I believe so. Opponents have played 1,798 games here at Coors Field. It's happened only 31 times. There's a ground ball that is foul, where the opponent was shut out and held to 5 hits or fewer. And that's what's happening right here. Cardinals with 5 hits, no runs. Senzatella, the starter for the Rockies, very good here tonight. Carlos Martinez was as well, but the Cardinals bullpen struggled, to say the least.
See Lyles, hard thrower, 94 average, 96-mile-an-hour fastballs coming out of the bullpen. Right back to work for these Cardinal hitters.
3-2 the count. And the next to Colton Wong. Fouled back. Here's a 3-2 pitch again to Wong. Line drive into center, and Blackman is there. He's been everywhere tonight. That's the first out. Senzatella is our player of the game, presented by Budweiser. 5 hits allowed, but what really stood out, the double plays, which ties a franchise record. The Cardinals hit into 4 of those. Rockies turned the 4 double plays, which ties that franchise record, and he's our Budweiser player of the game.
Tell you what, he didn't pitch like a 22-year-old tonight.
No, sir. Johnny Peralta, the pinch hitter. Barring a miraculous comeback, he goes to 7-1. Martinez would go to 3-4. A 1 pitch to Johnny Peralta. Seen his playing time reduced. The emergence of Jed Jerko, everyday player at third base. Here's a 1-1. And Peralta, a high fly ball into right field. Gonzalez is there for out number 2. Eric Fryer, the final hope for the Cardinals, will pinch hit. A 1 pitch. This will do it. Ground ball that's hit to short. The Rockies take game 1 by the final of 10-0. Senzatella is now a 7-game winner. He's 7-1, the first Rockies pitcher to win 7 of the first 10 starts in the big leagues. And Jimmy, not a bad outing by Martinez, but obviously not enough.
I mean, you just got that stat that you just said, 3 and 4 for Martinez with that stuff that he's got. I mean, bad timing in some of the big innings. No offensive support tonight, but you got to hand it to that young man on the other side. Senzatella pitched a really good game and got some really timing ground ball double plays to really keep him out of trouble.
It's off to the post-game show. Plenty to talk about. 10-0 the final here in Game 1 of this weekend series.